Give him the mic.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for giving me this opportunity to contribute on this substantive motion, that is a report on the United Nations Convention Against Corruption and Global Parliamentarians Against Corruption meeting. Madam Speaker, corruption in this country is a menace. For this country to progress, we must find a decisive way of dealing with corruption. Madam Speaker, I want to thank the mover of the motion, my friend Shakil, for bringing this motion before the floor of the House. Madam Speaker, I wish to bring the attention of this House that on the 28th day of July 2023, Professor Nixon Sifuna, sitting as a judge at the Anti-Corruption and Economic Crimes Division in the High Court, made a substantive ruling, Madam Speaker, against corruption that it should not escape this House. Madam Speaker, Honorable the Judge, Honorable Sifuna, pursuant to Section 92 of the Kamla Act, that is the Proceeds of Crime and Anti-Money Laundering Act, number 92, 2009, Madam Speaker, made a substantive and unprecedented ruling to the effect that money that has been obtained out of the process of crime that initially was deposited in the Assets Recovery Agency bank account shall now be deposited in the Consolidated Fund account. Madam Speaker, the substance of that ruling is that any amount that has been forfeited by a court of law and initially was deposited in the Assets Recovery Agency Fund account shall now be deposited in the Consolidated Fund account. Madam Speaker, in my opinion, this is a good ruling because initially there is a misconception or there is a belief that money deposited to this agency account has been misappropriated. Madam Speaker, and I call upon the National Treasury because we have the substantive act, but Madam Speaker, we lack the regulations. We have just a minute, Madam Speaker. We call upon the National Treasury to submit regulations to operationalize the Criminal Recovery Fund so that when that fund has been created by this House, then money that has been forfeited by a court of law, being proceeds of corruption, shall be deposited to that recovery fund. Madam Speaker, as we speak, the money that is recovered out of the process of crime is deposited in a bank account opened by the agency. As to how that money is mismanaged, Madam Speaker, is not very clear. So, Madam Speaker, I call upon the National Treasury and the committee of this House dealing with delegated legislation to make sure that that particular regulation is brought in this House so that we have the Asset Recovery Fund account created under regulations so that money that has been forfeited by a court of law, being proceeds of crime, is deposited into that particular account. In my opinion, Mr. Speaker, if that fund account is created, then monies that has been forfeited by a court of law shall not be misappropriated by that particular agency. So, Madam Speaker, I beg to submit on that issue, and I fully support this motion, particularly on the creation of that fund account. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
I wish to recognize the presence in the Speaker's Gallery of Garrison Secondary School, Gilgil constituency.